I finally arrived to the lighthouse on the Cape, and I was all set to start my ride on the European Divide Bikepacking Trail. I broke out the drone for the first time in the high wind, and I was being a bit careful, but I did manage to get a few shots. It was nice, easy going, heading away from the Cape on mainly flat roads, but into a pretty heavy headwind. I didn't travel far the first day, just 10 kilometers, to a place where I could stay for an extra day and restock and make sure I had everything organized now that I was ready to set out on the tour, on the proper tour, and to make sure I had all the food and everything I needed when I was out there. The first real day started out great, along nice roads that led along the coast, and the scenery was really beautiful. Problem was a bit of a headwind, but otherwise I was really enjoying it, and as I said, the scenery was really spectacular, heading along the coast, looking down into the valleys and going down onto the beaches. The biggest problem was getting back from the beach again. There was one really gigantic hill that more or less almost killed me, and after I had managed to get on top of it, which I only just managed to do, I had to lie down and have a long rest just to survive to be able to continue. It was really hard work. Nevertheless, I managed to carry on, and I enjoyed it pretty much. The first night's campsite was a pretty simple one, just a turnout on a logging road. But the second campsite was a bit more spectacular, on the side of a ridge on an access road to a tree plantation with really nice views, and I was able to just lie there and look out from the tent into the sunrise. Next day, more hard work, uphill, downhill, climbing mountain after mountain on gravel roads and tracks. It's not as if there were roads all the time, there were a lot of just basic tracks. And it was a lot of hard work, and I was starting to realize that I just wasn't really fit enough for this at all. The scenery was spectacular though, and I can warmly recommend anybody who wants to go bikepacking to come to this area and have a ride around. I even found a lot of places for sale, so if you want to start a guest house here on the European Divide Bikepacking Trail, there are plenty of options. They need a little bit of work, some of them, but who knows, they might turn out to be really nice. You can't really complain about the location. I've got no idea what they cost, but they were really interesting to look at. The day continued with more ups and downs, working me really hard, and I more or less had to get up and walk as soon as there was any sort of incline. I wasn't really being able to do it at all. Luckily, there were chances for a few breaks. It's day 3 on the route, or it's only this second day because the first day was such a small 10-kilometer start. And so far, it's been really tough. I am nowhere near fit enough for this, and the route has gone up and down and up and down and up and down on gravel roads. So it's been pretty tough. Now I knew that I wasn't really fit enough to do this, but the route has been a little bit tougher than I expected, so it's actually been harder. That said, it's a great route, and I'd highly recommend it to anyone that's a little bit fitter than I am. And the scenery so far has been absolutely spectacular. Yesterday was a warm, sunny day, bit of a headwind, bit of a wind during the day, but very nice. This morning it's been a bit overcast, and there was even a little bit of a drizzle, or a bit of moisture in the air. But basically, I'm trudging along. As soon as there's an incline, I'm walking. But I'm getting there. I'm covering some miles, and hopefully... Oh, there's a car. I'll let it get past. hopefully as I get fitter, I'll be riding more and covering some more mileage. Now, here we go. It's just changed to downhill. I'm going to get on the bike again. The beauty of riding a bike is even if you have to push uphill, you get it all back going down. There were plenty of forced stops where I had to take it easy, and there was a lot of walking. This has been more of a hiker bike than a bike ride for me. I'm really struggling on the uphills, and this section here was one of the easier sections. Was reasonably uphill, but at least the path was reasonably good. There were some sections that were extremely uphill and where the path was really rough and rugged. Even some of the downhill sections weren't much of a rest because you had to concentrate on where you were going and you were on the brakes all the time and you had to stand up. After this, on day 3, I was really tired. Found a campsite early on, and at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I just set camp and went to bed and listened to an audiobook. It was a little bit easier after that, and I had the opportunity to stop at a few cafes and have a bit of a rest. And I eventually got into Mertola after a ride where it was a lot flatter and a lot easier on the last day. I decided to stay here for an extra day and have a rest day to be able to make this video, have a look around town, but basically also because I really need to have a rest and recuperate if I'm going to be able to continue going along this tour. It's really killing me. I'm really enjoying it, but unfortunately COVID seems to have got me pretty hard and my fitness is really low. But stay tuned, we'll see what happens.